White Tiger on trial, Punisher finally showing up, Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock about to lose it, and a new villain making his entrance. That's right, folks. Episodes 3 and 4 of Daredevil, Born Again are packed with details, and with them, more theories are popping up. There's a new possible heroine emerging and you might have missed it, that's the truth. Make sure to hit that like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below. Is Daredevil, Born Again meeting your expectations? Share your thoughts, cause I'm already looking at the comments. Let's dive into another review. Since Wilson Fisk decided to be mayor, his wife Vanessa has been taking care of organized crime. But Fisk pulled her closer and kept her away from running things, so the gangs started battling it out to see who would take the power. What the gangs don't realize is that this is exactly Fisk's plan, creating chaos to eventually have peace. The gangs fight among themselves and he just needs to take out whoever is left standing. On the flip side, Fisk might want revenge on his wife for taking his spot. No matter how much he claims he's changed and isn't a violent man anymore, we are talking about the Kingpin here. Considering Vanessa's position, it hasn't been good for her that Fisk came back. After all, she was playing the leader, and now she was the queen of crime, and even dating someone else. Now with her husband back, she has to give up her position, her new partner, and start couples therapy because she and Fisk aren't seeing eye to eye like they used to. In the comics, she even had Fisk sent to prison, took his money, and ran away, so it's not hard to picture that playing out in the series. As for the trial of Hector Ayala, that was a surprising debate, and showing off the White Tiger mask was definitely an unexpected move, especially considering Matt is Daredevil and knows the importance of protecting a vigilante's identity, and how that could put Hector and his family at risk. We all thought about how that could end, right? Wilson Fisk is not happy at all about how Matt's arguments shake public opinion, which tends to favor the vigilantes. After all, Fisk was elected with the promise that he would put an end to the vigilantes and was doing great in the media, until Matt showed people a different perspective. Even after Hector's identity was exposed, he decides to suit up again and fight crime, but that doesn't last long since he ends up falling into a trap that leads him straight to his death. Although the person who killed Ayala was using the Punisher symbol, it definitely wasn't him, since the Punisher has no reason to do that, and he's not the only one using that skull symbol. Throughout the episode, we see several cops with skull tattoos. They have a twisted view of the Punisher's ideals and operate under their own rules, engaging in bribery, extortion, and teaming up with criminals to get what they want. Meanwhile, the Punisher would never team up with criminals. What he really wants is to take them all down, no matter what it takes. The series is heading toward a witch hunt for vigilante heroes, with Fisk wanting to combat them politically and cops donning Punisher gear, forming an anti-vigilante task force. Episode 4 kicks off showing that everyone's tired of following the system's rules in their own way. After 3 episodes centered around the courtroom, Matt finally gets back to training to put on his Daredevil suit. Frank is cooking up something, and Fisk can't stand dealing with all the bureaucracy. To round out the list, Hector Ayala's niece, Angela Del Toro, isn't happy with the system either. She's about to take up her uncle's mantle as White Tiger, just like in the comics. Plus, we see signs of Muse all over the city, in the graffiti on the walls, and we catch him in action carrying a body through the subway, then extracting blood from the still-living victim to create his creepy paintings. The episode title Sic Semper Systema isn't just for show, it's based on the phrase Sic Semper Tyrannis, which means thus always I bring death to tyrants, and it's been shortened to always to tyrants. The episode title symbolizes the corruption in the system that needs to find justice somehow. That's why during the episode, Matt weighs the decision of whether or not to return as Daredevil after seeing the injustices in the system that he can't fix just as a lawyer. It's hard for Matt to decide whether to suit up again, carrying the burden of guilt over Foggy's death, but he can't ignore that the system let Fisk run free and get elected as mayor, allowing corrupt cops to kill heroes like Hector Ayala. Frank sees this and prompts Matt to confront his thoughts and judgments, leading him to start training his Daredevil skills again. As for Kingpin, as expected, Fisk's transformation into a nice guy is just a facade. At one point, we see him having dinner with Adam, Vanessa's lover, who was kept in a cage. At least Fisk kept his word not to kill Adam, but Vanessa should have suspected he was scheming something, and Adam was definitely at risk. Guys, notice how in this episode, it seems like everyone is about to explode emotionally, all because of the system. The tension is really ramping up in Daredevil, Born Again, and let's face it, it's about time for Matt to step back into the role of Daredevil, right? Honestly, I'd say these 2 episodes have been even more intense than the previous ones. Hector Ayala's death, while we kinda saw that coming, still shocks us when we see the scene play out, right? And the show is headed toward a point where all the main characters in each storyline are gonna snap from the pressure. Matt's back to training, so there's no turning back. Daredevil's gonna be back in the streets, and meanwhile, Wilson Fisk is like a ticking time bomb, getting angrier with every little thing that pops up in front of him. Vincent D'Onofrio did an incredible job as Wilson Fisk, just like he always does. You can clearly see Fisk is about to blow, and the actor conveys that to us in such a natural way, nothing feels forced. Regarding Muse, the villain finally stepped onto the stage, and as Hector Ayala already mentioned to Matt in episode 2 about people disappearing, everything is leading to Daredevil and Muse's paths crossing, so we can finally see those two face off. Meanwhile, we still don't know what Frank Castle's plans are, but one thing's for sure, Punisher and Daredevil are gonna fight side by side in the upcoming episodes, and it's gonna be crazy. At least I hope it is. One thing I forgot to mention is how awesome the idea is to have the BB report showing during the episodes, with the public opinion regarding the presence of vigilantes in the city. This idea is really great and brings life and voice to the city, enriching the character's urban lore. This is a detail that's very prominent in Frank Miller's comics. So this is definitely one of the positives that the series has. But now I gotta touch on some negatives that are in the script, especially in episode 3. There are a few scenes with pretty weak dialogues, and Hector Ayala's trial didn't have the same impact as in the comic. In the comics, Ayala's trial is much more intense. Ayala was arrested as White Tiger, unlike the show, and the prosecuting attorney in the comic is way better than in the series. Not to mention Matt exposing Hector as White Tiger. I get the series idea behind having Matt make that choice, but revealing White Tiger's identity to everyone is not something Matt Murdock would do. You clearly know that's something he wouldn't do. And the mistake the show made with Matt Murdock doesn't stop there. He ends up revealing during the trial that he has a witness, and that was the only ace up his sleeve to get Ayala off the hook. He shouldn't have mentioned Nick Torres because that set off alarm bells for the cops that Matt has their informant as a witness, and that wouldn't have happened if he hadn't said anything about the informant and just waited to reveal Nick Torres when it was time for him to testify. But despite all that, I still like seeing Hector being exonerated, and the scene of him becoming White Tiger again moments before his death was really good. I mentioned that this episode has some weak dialogues due to the script, but there are also some really good moments, like the conversation Matt had with Ayala after the White Tiger identity reveal. When Hector says being White Tiger is a calling, Matt feels that deep down because he knows exactly what it's like to be a hero, but with the current circumstances, he's trying to prove to himself that he doesn't need a mask to be a hero. That moment is really powerful. To wrap up with the references, there's one more Easter egg that happens during the trial that I haven't mentioned yet, and it's the mention of Officer Morales, meaning Miles Morales' dad. Of course, that doesn't mean he'll show up in the show. I think it's just a small Easter egg they wanted to sprinkle in, but again, we have more references to Miles Morales in the MCU. Alright, folks, now I really want to know your thoughts. Did you enjoy episodes 3 and 4 of Daredevil, Born Again? Were you shocked by White Tiger's death? From 0 to 10, what score do you give Daredevil, Born Again? Please comment down below, and don't forget to hit that like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because I'm about to release more videos on the upcoming episodes of Daredevil, Born Again, packed with all the details, Easter eggs, and theories you don't want to miss out. Subscribe to stay updated on everything superhero related. Also, consider supporting our work through the thanks button that pops up on your phone next to the like and subscribe buttons. That way, you're helping us keep investing in the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Thanks so much, and see you next time.